So it's day 3 of the big push to get that thing usable, and we almost got our other side of our bed area done. We have our battery storage area. That's where our electrical equipment's going to go. We spin back around, storage cubby with a shelf, and right now we are cutting the 1/4-inch panel for the back of this. It's going to fit up against the van wall. But I wanted to show you guys a neat trick. If you haven't guessed it already, a router is my favorite tool. And so what I need to do is I need to cut this board here. I got to get a nice perfect straight cut on this. So you could do it with a circular saw or a jigsaw, neither of which I'm very good at. And so instead I'm going to use my saw guide and a pattern bit on the router, and that way we can get a straight cut on it. So I'll show you how. So what I've done is I've drawn a line that's nice and straight. I'm going to line my saw guide up on there. Bada boom, bada bang. We clamp it down, get a straight line, and then our pattern bit will follow that. Make it easy peasy. So that's a nice trick if you guys don't have a table saw or you're cutting big panels that won't fit in a table saw, to make sure that your panels are nice and square. So good deal. We'll get this thing glued up and keep rocking. Hey guys, welcome to day 4 of the big push to get this thing usable for next week. And I'm getting kind of tired. It's been a couple long days in a row for me, but we're making really good progress here, so that's kind of helping me stay motivated. We got both of our bed bottoms in, so they're not screwed down yet. I'm going to hold off to do that until we get the bed top made. So here is what I'm working on. We are using white oak for the top here. You can see where I have the 2 boards are 54 inches from the front to the back here, so big enough for a full-size mattress. And this middle section between the two, my idea is to create kind of a fill-in piece, so it'll drop in there, and if we ever want to, we can pop that middle cushion off and throw everything on the other cabinet. So, but what I got to do is I got to take wood and get it so it fits down in there flush and it pops back out. So I went ahead and I built just a little pattern here. And again, we're going to use the router and cut that notch into those boards on each side of it. And that way we can kind of have like our planks that'll run across and meet in there. So I'm going to start getting these cut and we'll go from there. And with about an hour of clamping and reclamping and continuing to shift that pattern 1 notch forward, we have our board. So look sharp. And then these little notches here is where those boards are going to come up to meet this one. So the nice part is from here, I can just use the board I've cut as a pattern for the next one. So I'll get started and I'll show you how to do it. All right, so we have our finished board clamped and all lined up on the next board we got to cut. I'm going to go ahead and just trace it out on here, and then I'll use a jigsaw and get a rough cut. I'll leave, you know, between a 1/16 to an 1/8 of material still there. The pattern bit will remove. You could go through and just use your pattern bit now, but that's a lot of work to cut all this wood away and unnecessary wear and tear on your router and dulling your bit up. So it'll make it quicker and easier if we just rough cut it first and then we'll router it. So let's. So we have our second board rough cut out, and then what I did is I screwed our first board to that next board. I'm going to use my router table with a flush trim bit, and that way I can duplicate all of these notches, and it should go pretty quick and easy. So, all right, so an exhausting finish to day number 4 of the big push, and we have our bed slats on. I got to grab a couple more screws from the hardware store tomorrow. And we're not going to cut the center rails in here yet because our dimension of this aisle weight is going to change just a little bit between now and final assembly. There's also a couple other things that we got to do during final assembly. If you look, these boards are spanning about 42 inches, and there's a good amount of flex to them. And they overhang the end here. So in order to strengthen these things, what we're going to do is we're going to cut a dado right down the middle of the board. And then we're going to take another piece, and then we're going to glue it up into that dado. And I'm always impressed when I do that, just how much strength that adds. So, but for now, to get it so that we can throw our mattress on there for the trip, we're just going to take a couple boards and throw them across the top, and that'll serve us well. But we'll go from there. Good morning. It's day 5 of the big push to get this thing usable, and we are so close. So we are going to start screwing these cabinets down, and what I'm going to use is I built this stuff last night. All it is 1.25 inch by 1.25 inch by 1/8 inch thick aluminum, the same stuff I use in the solar panels, and I've cut it into 1.5 inch and then 3-inch brackets, and then just drilled holes in them. So pretty easy stuff, but we are going to anchor these cabinets into our furring strips, and then we'll put a couple anchors in the cabinets and the inside walls here down to the floor. So we'll get that done, then we'll put our bed rails across, just temporary ones. We'll probably end up making just a really quick, easy table for here for the trip, and then probably mount an upper cabinet, something I had left over from the last build, and we'll go from there. So we have the rest of today, and then first thing tomorrow morning, we are taking off to Colorado, so better get it in gear. All right, guys, so we have the one cabinet rock solid attached to the wall and the floor. We're working on the second one. This one got a little out of square though. So what I've done is I've taken all their trays out from the inside. That way I can kind of force it back into being square. Then I'll reattach everything and it'll hold it there. And then I've put a mark on the floor where I need to push this corner back. And then I have a little block with a screw in it. So what I can do is get it back to square. If I can, come on. Beautiful. So we have some boards that we got across here, so this will serve as our bed platform. And I really didn't want to screw into this oak. This is really nice stuff, and it's going to look sharp once we got it all sanded and routed, and it's going to turn out nice, so I did not want any screw holes through it. So what we did is we just sandwiched it with a scrap piece, drove a screw down into this to clamp it. So we did that all the way across. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to build just a temporary table. This will be really simple. But we're just going to take a piece of 3/4 inch plywood, stretch it across, and make a couple legs for it. And I'll show you how to make some plywood legs that actually turn out fairly strong, because we're going to need them to support this end here. So let's get that one done. All right, so we got the table legs cut, and it's 2 inches by 1.25 inches to form a 2 inch by 2 inch leg. And then all we'll do is we'll glue it and then put some pin nails in it, or sorry, some brad nails, and then we'll router it and then put our pocket holes on either end, so that way we can stick it down onto the floor and then up into the countertop. So not too shabby, nice and easy, and plywood is actually pretty flexible like this. So when you cross brace it, that's what gives it its rigidity. So easy, really cheap way if you guys are doing table legs. And voila, we have a table. Nothing fancy, but it'll come in handy. The next thing is we have this cubby here that was left over from a previous build. Ended up changing the plans, so we removed it, and we actually tried doing a giveaway on the Facebook page, but we really didn't get any takers. So for now, we're going to throw it in this one, and that'll be useful for our trip. And then after that, I might just throw it in my dirt bike trailer as just a way to use it. So while we're getting closer, we have some of our wiring at least temporarily ran. We got one battery mounted. We got a big spaghetti mess of wires in the electrical cabinet that we're gonna have to sort out, and then add in our solar controller, some fuses, disconnects, etc. And yeah, so hopefully we will have our diesel heater, our refrigerator, and our vent fan working for this trip. So just the key things. Our plan is to be up in the mountains for a couple nights, and I was there a couple years ago in an uninsulated, non-heated van, trying to sleep in the back in a hammock, and it was brutal. It was a miserable night. So if I can at least have the diesel heater running, I'll feel like I'm in a lap of luxury then. So, but we're looking at probably a couple more hours worth of work, and then once we get done with the electrical, we got to grab all of our junk out of that mushroom, our nickname for the Airstream, and pack up the new van, and then we're gonna hit the road in the morning. So I'll check in with you guys in a little bit once the van's, I guess, ready for us to use. So exciting stuff. You want to tell them where we're at?
We are on top of a mountain.
All right, so the sun's out, but it's still dang cold. Shannon is all toasty warm in here, cooking breakfast. Yay! Yay for breakfast. What are you thinking, Shannon?
I'd say this is quite nice.
All right, so we're at the trailhead, and we're getting ready to start hiking up there. And I wanted to show you real quick kind of how everything turned out and how we're using it. So in the back door area, there we go. See, we got plenty of storage back here, and we're doing it really simple. We don't have a sink or anything, so we're just using a basin and a water jug. Most of our clothes are just stored in totes for the moment. No road trip is not complete without beer. Gotta have that. So, yep, there's our bed up there. So that's pretty nice on the backside. Look out, dude. I keep screwing this up and getting hit by the bikes every time I close the door. I gotta get used to that. And then inside, I'm gonna hand you off to Shannon so she can show you what she did to make this nice.
Yes, and as Joel said, we have a real simple thing going in here, but there's some basics that can really make this a lot easier on you. One of the favorite things that I like to use are hooks. We have hooks all over in here. We hook a lot of things up, whether that's curtains or you can see we have our towel here, and we even have our toothbrush holder up there. We hang our lamp and everything. Of course, totes are a great idea. We have a little bit of storage and just some little plastic drawers that we have. And otherwise, a couple simple things really can make this very homey. Bungee cords for some storage up here. We have pantry items, we have clothes, and then of course in our totes and drawers we have a few more clothes around. So overall, it feels really nice and homey.
Oh, how do we go to the bathroom? You want to show them that?
Oh, do I want to show you that? So here's the fabulous chemical toilet that we use. So we have our trash bin right here. I'll move that for you. So yep, we just use a chemical toilet. Very simple. It has a little flush system to it. You throw in some packs, and there's no odor. It's not a bad experience whatsoever. And I consider myself a prissy girl, and if I can handle it, most women can. You don't have to use special toilet paper or anything, and it really works great. And it lasts a good while for both he and I, compared to like a compost toilet that might start to not be able to handle a couple people over a longer trip.
Yeah, we could easily go about 2 weeks with it without really having to monkey with it. And then the refrigerator.
Yeah, so I'll show you guys the refrigerator next. So this is a Dometic refrigerator. It has two sections to it. This is a little bit smaller one, and then there's a full one over there, and that one's full of drinks for us.
Beer.
Yes, a little more beer. There's more than beer, I promise. And the nice thing too is that it's two different sections, so one side could be a freezer, one side could be a refrigerator. But right now we have both set up as a fridge for our adventure this time. All right.
All right. Well, we're going to see how high up we can get.
Yep.
So, see you later, guys, and thanks for watching.
See you guys.
Hey guys, so it's first thing in the morning here, and we did get snow that came in. If you guys look outside, we got quite a bit. More is coming down. Luckily, we've gotten back down from elevation, so at least we can make it to town safe. And I think it's 26 degrees outside. And I would say it's, what do you think, Shannon? 60, 65 in here? Comfortable?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's fairly comfortable. And we've been just using our normal bedding from home, just 2 blankets. But, yeah, if you guys notice, our van is not insulated. So I'm just going to make this as just a quick teaser. We will get into the benefits of insulation and the products that I like to use and some reasons why. But for now, you don't really need to have your van insulated to enjoy it. So, we concur.